I don't know what in the world happened, but okay, I don't want to have to be blocking this. Something happened with my Wi-Fi just went off. Apologies about that. So, aesthetics. So I'm going to start this all over again. Welcome, people. I'm very sorry about that. If anybody had been here before and they got disconnected, I had started the live stream very, very well and it was going well. And then all of a sudden, I was told there was no internet. I don't know whether it's because a plane was passing by or whether it's just a glitch that happened with the internet. So, yes, karibuni sana. I need to, yeah, just send you a message. Okay. I'm glad that this is working. So welcome for those of you who are, it's your first time coming to my live. I appreciate very much. And I can see, yeah, I have a new subscriber who's just come on. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. Yes. So let me just okay. So thank you very much. Thank you so much for those of you who've been my subscribers. Oh my goodness, I appreciate it very, very, very much. I can see there's one person who's come on the line, and I've sent you a welcome message. So I'll start again. What I was saying is that I was explaining the things which are behind me. This this is a gift I got from the Embassy of Belgium in Kenya because of the work I do in supporting marginalized communities. And so there was a competition that is normally held every year by one of the top NGOs for marginalized communities. And what they do is that they do a shout out to community members and persons, stakeholders, and they say, tell us people that you'd recommend who need recognition for the work they're doing in community. And people send proposals, and then they do a lineup of qualifying people who've gotten a certain number of the top, let's say 10 or 5 in every category. And then now they have another selection by people, of course, where people now nominate again who out of the selected people is the best suited to be awarded. And so I got this and a certificate and other things. I think on several occasions I've won different awards for my work in activism, in promoting rights of minorities, not just gender minorities, but marginalized persons of different cadres. Then this is a calabash. The calabash is a very important thing and item in the African kitchen. Now this one is decorated. Where did I get this? Did I get this in Uganda or did you come with it from West Africa? I'm not sure. But this one now is a full calabash and then it has seed inside, and the seed has been allowed to dry. And well, there's a way that they allow it to dry. So now I use it as a toy for my son. But you see, it's been very well decorated. Let me show you. It has very intricate design, and we are a family that loves design. So we keep it for decoration. And then, of course, in Africa, decorative items can also be used as toys. It is also a musical industry. I mean, a musical item in very many African dances. Yeah, that's the calabash, which is also a toy, because when you shake it, it has the seeds inside. And my grandson really, really, really loves playing with that. Then I have this. This came from my daughter. It says, let me show you. Live well, laugh often, love much. Ah, yes. Yeah, just small, quirky, uplifting messages for us to have. And I normally have it near the kitchen window. You know, the badness with when you're using a laptop is that it's confusing me so much because it mirrors you. So what is your left is your right here, and what is your right is your left there. And so I want my head to be in between the decorations. And when I reach on in the laptop, it's showing. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. I had prepared this setting, so I don't want it going wrong. So welcome. Last time I think I gave. I'm very sorry that the video of the last live stream I did the last time, it was so unclear. It was the video itself was unclear, but the audio is very clear. So I'd urge you to just go and listen in on it. I gave a very intensive introduction and overview about myself, who Wandia Josephine is, where I've been, places I've traveled. I didn't say things I've done. And I was very careful not to talk too much about my children. If you watch my videos, you're going to learn about them. I don't think this is a forum to now expound on my children and my family and all that. No, 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 no. That's something that you need to watch the channel and then find out. Welcome. I can see there's another person. Very welcome to the channel. I have to see how I can find out who's online because, like I said, I'm just learning this. Um, so you're the second fan. Okay, it's not showing me. Okay, I'll grasp this. I'll grasp this. It just takes me a very short while. I'm good at it. I got this. And if I don't, I'm going to reach out to my son. He's the guru of Wi-Fi and internet and computers and everything. So immediately I tell him, he'll just like, yeah, mom, you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to do this. So today I've been, for those of you who are here who are not in Kenya, because I can't quite see who's online, but I can see it's two people. But in case you're not in Kenya, it's now 9 or 3 p.m. It's evening time. What did I do today? Today I woke up. Yesterday I had a bad experience. Should I say a bad experience? No, when it's matters of the heart, you don't call it bad experience. I'm trying to beef myself to be positive about yesterday, but I've been having feelings for somebody. I thought I was growing feelings for somebody, an on off, and then you see red flags, and then you don't, and then you're telling yourself, let your heart not rule your mind, let your mind rule your heart. But the heart knows what the heart knows. And you get to a place where you're like, let me close this off, it's not doing me any good. And then there's a pull push. It's like the little devil in your head and the little angel in your head. But I guess I let things delay too much, and it didn't work out, I guess, on their end. Sometimes you're so busy thinking about yourself, you're not thinking about the other person, and that went like that. And it kind of broke me a little bit because the heart knows what the heart knows, irrespective of what the mind knows, and irrespective of all the stuff we're told that this is what must happen for this to go this way, and our relationship do's and don'ts, and life do's and don'ts. I always say the heart knows what the heart knows. So, yeah, I felt a bit hurt, yeah, when you missed it, and you missed it because you played a part in not working hard at it. So today I've been doing laundry. I Yesterday I was out most of the day, And I had done laundry after the children left, but that was for the clothes we had. But now I had to do beddings, I had to do a bit of this and that. So I did that today, and that went well. I finished, but I was so tired because I've not done laundry myself for very long. I've been having people come and do it. And that's why I keep on insisting that although my family would prefer that I have somebody to come in for laundry, it does exercise me. The energy that I produce in doing that, it goes a long way. It helps me to stay fit because sometimes I'll be sitting the whole day and I don't have something to do. And I know there are people who'd argue that how can you not have something to do? Yeah, it's allowed. Sometimes, you just don't feel like doing housework, and it's not a crime. But other days there's so much to do, and it's good to be always busy. And that's why I committed now to be working every day for a certain length of time, at least to make sure that I'm fit. Yes, I'm moving about the house. When you're staying alone, you have to be very self-disciplined, especially at our age, because you can find that if you don't watch it, there are days you'll wake up at noon, there are days you'll wake up at 10 o'clock, and you can make it a habit very easily. And I can tell you for free that when you're above 55 and you create some of those nasty habits, you've got nobody but yourself to blame when you start getting sick. Yeah, because sitting down a lot, not doing anything, not pushing yourself, not disciplining yourself to wake up and make your bed and maybe sweep a bit here and there and wash the dishes and, just rough up some pillows and walk to the shopping center and do something. Yeah, you can sit down the whole day, and that's not safe. It's not safe at all. It's very dangerous. I've been watching the circus that is going on with the United States. Oh my goodness, I pity you people. What a country you live in. It's just, there's just wonder after wonder after wonder at what is happening all around you. And like I said, I really pity you. I really pity you. I mean, Africans, we have shenanigans, but we have very ordinary shenanigans. There's corruption, or some money was mishandled somewhere, or some services were not given. Very, very ordinary things. But you people have extraordinary after extraordinary after extraordinary. Very sorry. Very, very, very sorry for you. So I finished. I've not folded the clothes, but I took them off the clotheslines while I was folding. While I was folding, I was keeping on folding so that they are not totally ruffled by the stay of. They might stay overnight. It will depend on how much energy I have after this, because I still have to make my dinner, which is going to be a bit late. But because I had to take out the clothes late, and because I had to sleep in, because since I was so tired. So yeah, that's if I don't do that, I'll do tomorrow. But the goodness is that all the clothes, with the exception I think of one duvet, they dried. So there'll be no dampness that I have to worry about, because usually when they're not totally dry, what you will find is that I'll have draped the semi-dry ones on the seats across the sitting room. And because Ruai is very warm, by morning I find that most of them have dried up. I've also been watching. Today I won't just focus on Nyabohanse. I mean, it's there's so much more than that. But we have our little lady down in the coast, uh, Mama Nyevu. I keep forgetting her full name. I can see now she's at the stage of painting and developing of her house. She's a very good cook. She's an extraordinary cook, and I think she's brought Kilifi to the map, the internet online map, digital space in a very good way. I hope the people of Kilifi recognize her. I hope the leaders recognize her in one way or another. Although I see that she does have some organizations, some brands that advertise through her, which is good, which is brand marketing, which is not bad. Here on our front, I'd wish so much to see more people, even in Ruai where I live, getting on the internet. Oh, yesterday I had luck. When I was coming out, there's at the stage where I get my transport, there's this it's, I can't call it a shop, it's a makeshift shop because they've set up shop next to the road. And so what they've done is that they have ex-UK products. And okay, majority of the stuff may not be ex-UK. It may be people who want to trade in and get money, because a lot of, well, across Kenya, what people sometimes do is we have what we call shylocks, people who lend money. And for example, if I'm broke, I might go to a Shylock and tell him, these chairs I have, this set of chairs, I got at 40,000 shillings, but I don't have money. I'd like to borrow 20,000 shillings, which is half or even a quarter of that amount, or even a lower amount. And the Shylock, those are money lenders, will tell you no problem. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to hold your furniture as collateral, and this is the rate I'm going to give you for the furniture. So he might give you 15,000, for example, and you'll deliver the chairs to his place. And if you don't pay that money, irrespective of the fact that that's a much lower amount than what your set of chairs cost, that's how much that he's going to keep, and then he'll hold the chairs as a self reward. I'm not really a fan of drinking through tiny straws, so it's what I'm drinking, by the way. Yeah. This is Jinsi Yangu. It's a Kenyan organization that that works creating safe spaces for intersex, transgender, and gender diverse individuals. Yeah, so I got this as a gift when I was interacting with them at a function. Yeah. So, what else is new? We had, very unfortunately, I mean, this is not the place to talk about it, but gender-based issues are very important. And very unfortunately, we saw our First Lady appear at a function with glasses at night. And there's been speculation before about spousal abuse. And it's not in my place to say that, but I wish her well wherever she is. You know, I'm very vocal about speaking about gender based violence, and especially when women are targeted. And here, I'm talking about women 55 and over. You know, we are more fragile as we grow older. And so when you're hit by a man, I'll not take it the same as a girl, as a young woman who's about 30 who's been hit by a man. So it touches me to the core. It's very, very sad. Welcome, whoever it is that you've come in. And like I'm keeping on saying, I'm not able to quite see who it is that has come into the chat. It just shows there's one person. And yep. And I appreciate you. I thank you. Welcome to my chat. Yesterday, I also talked about places that I've been, and the people of Netherlands are very sorry if I gave such a negative review. But the short stint that we had in the Netherlands, I went to receive an award again for my work in activism, in advocating for minorities, marginalized communities. And one of the positive things I noticed in the Netherlands was that a lot of the people that I worked with in the, was it the Ministry of Gender or was it the Ministry of what? I can't quite remember, were young persons. They were in their 30s and 20s. And I found that so shocking that in government, you have such young people working in key positions in offices, and they were very capable. I really appreciated that. We went to The Hague. I loved The Hague because it's very quiet. I found it very laid back for a European city. And what do I know about European cities? Only what I see on the internet. But I found it very laid back and very strange. I mean, the people there are, I don't know, they're just different, you know. Coming from Africa, where you see people all the time and people are interacting, and there's quite a big community there. And then we went to Amsterdam, and I was like, wow, Amsterdam is a total opposite of what The Hague is. But I loved The Hague for It's a stable place. Me being an older person, if I was to live in a European um, country, I'd prefer to live in a city like The Hague. It's not too fast. Amsterdam is absolutely fast. And I already have complaints about Nairobi. I loved Amsterdam because, of course, there's so much to show, there's so much to do. Every turn you make, there's something interesting happening, but it's not my type of city. I'd never live in such a place. But my children loved it. They got opportunity to visit and they liked it. But I wouldn't. I don't. That's too fast for me. I loved Uganda. I loved every bit of Uganda. Uganda is Uganda has a type of control about it that is almost absent in Kenya. You know, Kenyans, we are so fast, we are so loud, we are so busy, we are so quick about everything. And I think Ugandans got, what can I say? The long periods of war kind of sobered them up. Kenyans are not very sober, and we also take a lot for granted. Ugandans don't. You know, when you've seen a lot of suffering, when you've seen a lot of death, and maybe this was just the older generation, not this generation, but a lot of effects of what the older generation witnessed was poured on, was given down, handed down in tales and in experiences, in retelling of experiences, and in changing ways of handling situations and issues to such an extent that the coming generations um, are aware of how fickle life can be and how much it matters to be careful and how much it matters to live your life with consideration of others, and that you can live life to the fullest, but there's just something that's different with Ugandans as compared to Kenyans. Kenyans are outrightly reckless to a very, very large extent. um there's fearlessness and there's recklessness. There's vigor for doing things, positive vigor, and there's outright lack of caution. And Kenyans have maybe the older Kenyans have gone through quite a bit. They might be a bit more careful, but our so-called Gen Zs, they haven't seen that, and so yeah, they dive into things very hard, and it's a very sad affair, because I know the world might be applauding Kenyan that we have our younger generation who are so quick and very fast to take action against social ills and national issues that older generation might not um, be taking care to deal with. But it's not for nothing like that some of the older generation are silent about it or are not seen to be very active. It's because we are more cautious, because we know some repercussions and how they would affect us and the younger generation. And the younger generation might know about some of these repercussions, but they choose to be able to prefer to act on it rather than delay like we do, and then have it get to a worse level. And so, yeah, um, the rest of Africa is not like this. And that's why we are seeing once in a while we have instigated youth that are instigated by the charge that Kenyan youth have, and they take up arms also in their own country. They take charge and go with the wind and say, let whatever will be, and storm issues and confront issues. And we pray all the time. We pray all the time for goodness to happen. My journey in YouTubing is has not been very difficult, because I don't think I'm that kind of person who's been very shy to go out and talk publicly. I'm not also that person who's been very shy to expose a bit any of my personal life, a lot of my personal life. Uh, so it hasn't been very difficult. I think there are people who have a very big challenge with content creation because they are shy by nature. They've been very inhibited for very long. There are people who will not outrightly talk about stuff that is happening in their life. They'll not showcase. They'll not even want to be known that this is where I live, or this is how my day is spent. There are people who are very private. All that considered, when you're doing content creation, you then sit back and choose, because I know people whose channels I watch, and they are very vibrant. They are very vibrant at content creation. Like, they are posting videos very frequently. They've got very good creation, very good editing, and very captivating videos. But they show glimpses of their life. I know one girl who just shows what she's doing, and I'm calling her a girl. She's probably a young lady, but she'll never show her face. But you'll always see her working with her hands, either in the garden or in the kitchen or what, and she doesn't speak. And then I know there's one other elderly lady that I follow. I'm calling her elderly. I am elderly. So don't think I'm talking about an 80-year-old. No, 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 no. She's probably in her late 50s or 60s. Yeah, I like to watch a lot of the people who are around my age. And even she doesn't do much. I know for a fact that her husband, I think, does not like to appear on on video. So she'll always carefully have him within the video, but just showing snippets of him, either the shoulder or when he's reaching out a hand to do something. And she also doesn't talk a lot. She'll do a voiceover once in a while, but she doesn't talk a lot. But you'll see her going about her business around the house in a very slow pace, in a very easy pace, and with music in the background. And I like that. And so, for some of you who might be wondering, I'd like to do content creation. And how am I going to do it if I'm a shy person? If I'm a person who doesn't like to reveal myself to the public, or to reveal much of my life or what's happening around my life? You can, without overexposing yourself. You can choose. Just, for example, to just show specific areas. Some people will only show their garden. Some people will only show when they're cooking and limit it to that. And some people will show everything when they're cleaning, when they're cooking, when they're eating, but they'll not talk. You have to find a niche. And one thing that I keep on saying is that people around the world are differently made. You don't know what excites people. You don't know what interests people. Thank you very much. I can see there's somebody else who's joined us. I'm saying that I'm not able to quite tell how to find out who it is that is in the chat, because I'm learning. Okay, participants. I'm learning how to do this, and I don't know how to yet, but I can see there's one person who keeps on getting in and out, and then there's another person, but welcome. Welcome very much. I appreciate it. Yes, now I've seen how to check where the participants is. Yeah, so if you'd like to start, and the way I started, I remember, was, in fact, I had a phone it had a very, very bad camera. I mean, the camera wasn't good at all, but I was very interested in setting up my YouTube channel, and so it didn't matter to me that it was that the camera wasn't good. No, 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 no. On the contrary, I set off and I started with that just camera. It was very basic. The phone was very basic, and I started shooting. And what was I shooting? That was just basic things of me doing this and that. And I wasn't okay. That's a battery note. I was wondering what that was. And I didn't have much that I was portraying at that point. but I was just interested in making sure that I'm producing a video. I didn't even know about what is it called? About viewership. I didn't know about having subscribers. I just wanted to put out there what it is I'm doing, and I was just happy with that. And now that I've now grown into knowing about having subscribers, reaching out to subscribers, working towards viewership hours, improving on the editing, I'm glad for it. But the most important thing is to start. And I'd encourage you, if you have a phone and you have a story to tell, I keep on saying, no, there are people who have such exciting lives. There's so much happening around them, or they live in such unique places. I mean, I love watching village videos, uh, seeing how people live in the village in different places, seeing what different homesteads look like, seeing how people do flowers differently. Is it in Ukraine? Is it the houses in South Africa? Is it the mountain living in Iran? That variety of scenarios of people's lifestyles, I find it so interesting, so captivating. Somebody else doesn't. Somebody else wants to see talk about corporate jargon, um, corporate stuff, and to each his own. Somebody else wants to see only cooking channels, to watch only cooking channels and improve on their cooking. Somebody else wants to learn a skill and they'll just be watching that. But whatever it is that you put out in the world, trust you me, there's always more than 1,000 people at every minute who will be interested in watching what it is. You know, once I started learning how to analyze the reviews that are given by YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio is the operating um, what is like the office for you having a YouTube channel. So they tell you within the last 28 days how many people have viewed you, how many people are new viewers, how many people are old viewers, who viewed through TV, how many viewed through laptop, through phone, what age category were there. Because when you register onto YouTube, for those who are registered, those who are not registered, that's fine. But data is collected and it's automatically collected. So they are able to give some demographics about the persons that are viewing your channel. And I find it so interesting. I'm like, in some months, you have up to 4,000 people watching, some months up to 7,000 people. Sometimes you'll see that in the past, some in for one video, you had 600 new viewers. I'm like, where are these people? And they are coming from different parts of the world. And I appreciate it so much that there are people who, but first I used to find it so strange that there's somebody who's in a country that doesn't speak English, doesn't speak Swahili, but will be watching my videos. And then I was like, wait a minute. It's the same way that I am going to go and watch a video of somebody who's speaking a language that I don't understand, but it has transcribing, it has the translation that is being done, captions, so I can put it into English. And when we were younger, when we used to have TV before the advent of YouTube on a general base, most of the TV programs we had just had captions translated into English. And like I'll watch a lot of shows before now I got a wireless connectivity in my house. When I was using the TV decoder, I loved watching shows from Angola, from Zambia, from Malawi, from West Africa, but they didn't speak English all the time. And so where they were not speaking English, there was the captions that had the words translating into what it was. And since that is enabled by YouTube automatically, if I accept for that to happen, and I always accept for that to happen so that a multiple number of people across the world may be able to watch my videos, and you don't know who's going to get encouraged, who's going to get uplifted, who's going to just listen in for the heck of listening in, because they're seeing you different and they like different and they want to know what's so different about this country, what's so different about this people, this person. And some will just like follow because there are channels that I follow just to know about that person. And it becomes like a craving. You're watching this person and you're so intrigued by how their life is, how the stuff they're doing around their life, around themselves, that you want to follow up each day. Oh, okay, so she said she's going to do this. I want to follow up. How did it go? She said she's going to travel there. How did it go? The other time this was happening, how did it end up? You get so engrossed in it, and you get carried away. And it's kind of nice because sometimes I feel like people are lonely in their houses. Um, when I had channel TV, it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. I remember when I was watching, what do you call them, soaps, and they have continuous episodes. This episode then is followed by this, and sometimes I'd not have paid for my decoder, so the episode in the soap opera or in the whatever movie I was watching would come, and because they are weekly and you don't have access to YouTube at that point, you don't know what happened in between. And I tell you the stress, because you are so engrossed in the life of the person that you're watching. It's a character that somebody's acting. But when you're watching, you're not telling yourself it's a character that somebody's acting out. You're just engrossed in this life story, because that's the purpose of creating good storylines for movies and stuff, and plays and dramas and all that, so that you keep your audience engaged, captivated. And sometimes I'd be so captivated. And countries that I can mention offhand, who are very good at holding you captivated without really knowing what the storyline is going, how it's going to turn. I can say Korean dramas. Then there are Chinese. I prefer. Everybody has their selection, and I like Chinese upcountry tales. Some are dramas, some would just be movies. Then Indian real life drama, and not action, but just real life movies of real events that happened, and hero tales. Oh, India, Bollywood produces very good stuff. And then there was, is it Brazil or Mexico? Okay, I think Colombian shows, and I think it is Brazil, because um, I just found their shows to be so captivating, so captivating that when the show starts, you do not know which direction it's going to take, and then they'll go very carefully to pick characters. I think you feel very shortchanged if you're watching a drama series or a movie or a production, whether it's a soap, and then you can see it just has shoddy actors and actresses, and you can very well tell what the outcome is going to be in the theme. And of course, Mexico has some hilarious production. Colombians take the cup. Colombians can make productions. Colombians and Turkey. Yeah, two productions that I have just had me on the edge of my seat. I love Korea because they have such hilarious productions. I love that so much. And then I found, what's this country? Namibia. Namibia also have, again, that's a Brazilian influence. Is it Brazilian or Mexican? Yeah, the Portuguese speaking. So yeah, sometimes when I'm watching, of course, I like old English um movies that are post-war. I like the storyline about post-war heroes and war heroes, and a lot of stuff that happened around such periods. And um, because people were real then, and you actually see people living life. Nowadays, some of these current movies and dramas and shows, I don't know, they're just flashes of everything. A flash of the life of this family, a flash of this person's working life, a flash, and I don't like that. I like a slow-paced movie that showcases one person's, each individual's life in an almost and um in a very captivating way and very wholesomely, and then the next character, and then the next character, and then the next character. I don't like to sit down and have to watch something where characters just see a brief about this character and a brief about this character, and then all of a sudden they are thrown together. I don't like those haphazard storylines. Doesn't matter how many awards they win for the same, for the same. That's not what I like. And it's the same that now that I come to content creation, I like to have a story. And that's why sometimes I'll be repeating that. Or remember when I told you I was going to go to this place? Or remember when I told you that I was going to do this? This is the follow up of what it is. And the person that I was talking, I like there to be a storyline. And so I'm hoping also my content creation. And that's what I'm aspiring for. That my content creation is going to have a flow to it. And also the content creators that I'm watching on YouTube mostly. I'm not a Netflix fan. My children are, but a lot of the people I watch in on YouTube, I like to follow those who have a storyline, and you can see changes happening in their life, and you can see a development happening in their life, and you can see a flow of you start becoming familiar with, this is where they live, this is where they go to the shop, this is where they go for entertainment, this is how they react when this happens. These are the friends that are around them. These are the people that are around them. In the same way, I want you to be able to notice that when I'm walking down this road, that's a road when I'm going to the stage. This is the road when I'm going to the supermarket. This is our local shopping center. Not because that's basically me. Outside of all the other engagements I have that may reach far and wide, um, travels and work opportunities and other engagements, the real me is just contained in a very small space. And this is the space that I'd like to introduce to you. This is the space that I'd like you to know, that will familiarize you so much with who I am, because this is how I react to the little things that are around me, to what's happening in church, to what's happening in my community, to what's happening with my family, and to which family member it is, and what is making me happy and what is making me sad. All the rest are um, very, very far flung. They are part of my life, but they are very far flung. And the most important thing is for you to know me as Wandia. Yes, as Josephine. They call me. And then from that, now you can develop your opinion, you can develop your nuances, you can develop your opinion, you can develop your inclination as to whether you want to follow my channel, you don't want to follow my channel, whether it interests you. And that's why I keep on asking, could you tell me as a viewer, is there something that you'd like me to do differently or not? If there is, yes, I can see what I can act up on it. If there isn't, then I'll continue doing what I'm doing. And once in a while, of course, I'll see that I have to tweak this, I have to tweak that, I have to make it more interesting by this, I have to make it more interesting by that. Yes, I'll make little changes and impressions here and there, just to make sure that I'm giving you um, all the reason for you to stay on my channel, to watch, to be able to share. I mean, when you say share, like, comment, subscribe, it's not just because for the heck of it, because it's a channel. No, 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 no. The onus is on me to make it interesting enough for you to now again carry up that instruction, that wish, that desire that I'm placing upon you, that please subscribe to my channel, please like my post, please share my post, please talk about it to friends, refer to friends, press the bell for notifications. All that will happen if, in the first instance, I'm producing something that is worthy of your attention, worthy to keep you here, worthy to refer to somebody else and tell them, oh, guess what? There's this channel I've been watching. This person, like this, like this, like this. I think you'd be interested. And again, that is why I have playlists. Some people will like just to see where I travel and what it is, the places that I'm going. Somebody else will just want to hear about my opinions because I do opinion talks once in a while, and that will be on different topics. For some people, that's all they want. They just want to hear my opinion about something. Somebody else might just be interested in my work life, how stuff that I'm talking about my work life, and not because they're a stakeholder in what I do, but because that is the stuff that interests them about my life, about my vlog. And so I cater to different niches among different viewers. I'm very, very aware of this, and it's my duty to make sure that I please each of them to the very best of my ability, while taking into consideration that as I'm pleasing one niche, then the other category of persons must also be kept entertained, because entertainment is a basic purpose of this, must be kept captivated, and must be encouraged to stay on. Not that it's not just a one-off thing and then they're like, oh, come on, she just did that for that one time. The rest of the time we don't get that. No, no, no. I want to keep on giving you good, 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 different, entertaining, laughter. Um, Sometimes it's sadness. I know I'm not promising that I'm going to be happy all the time. I'm not that kind of person who's always happy. If anything, I think it's just this period when, since I said I'm going to start self motivating and I'm going to make all effort to be happy and to uplift myself. But usually, I'm a very, very serious person. I think I intimidate people because I'm always wearing such a dour face. I'm like, and people will meet me and they'll be like, is there something wrong? And first of all, I used to get so startled. I'd be like, why would you think something is wrong? I'm just standing somewhere or I'm just walking. And, some people who'd get closer to me later on would find out that that's just my face. And they'd be like, you wear such a serious face. You make people afraid of you. And I'd be like, what? Really? No, 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 no. And inside, I might be thinking about the most hilarious thing. And so I realized that, yeah, impressions matter. First impressions matter. And so I willed myself that I'm going to be smiling more often. I'm going to be reaching out to people more often. Just small things. People know me very well as very kind, as very hospitable, as very endearing, as as a very outward person. I'm not a closed in person, but only people who know me like that. And so sometimes when they're with other people and they tell them that, they say, no. Whenever you see her, she just looks so serious. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm portraying a different image from what I am. So I need to get less serious. Need to have a less serious outlook for when I'm walking around and when I'm around people and when I'm dealing with people who don't know me very well. Let it not be that only people who know me very well I can be privy to my smile, to my warm laughter, to my warmth, to my attention. Yeah, it's a change that I have to physically make myself. It's something that I have to physically make myself differently. But otherwise, that's not my nature. I'm naturally a very serious faced person. But yes, I'm glad. My work in activism has been so interesting. Has been so interesting. It's grown in leaps and bounds in different organizations. It's helped me control my anger and channel it in rightful places. I used to, I used to inhabit a lot of anger for a very long period, for a lot of my life, because circumstances have not been, or life itself hasn't been very kind to me for a long time, and I've had to struggle so much for everything around me just to find happiness for myself, fulfillment for my family. And I think that angered me so much for so long. And then I realized that it's life, it just happens. It's what people say, SHIT happens. And I've taken a different look at it now that I'm older. And the thing is not to get angry, but it is to take action against what makes you angry. Yeah, that's the most important thing, to take action, not to sit and get angry, but and okay, not as some people say, to get mad and get even. No, 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 no. I used to think like that when I was younger, but now I know it's about getting a clear perspective of what it is that is making me angry, and then working out a plan of how to get to solve it, to to work around it and get a solution to it. And if it means locking horns, yeah, so be it. But even when you lock horns, how to lock horns in a more peaceable, polite, soft way, so that you don't burn bridges as you move on. Yeah, but you don't leave things undone, you don't leave things unsaid. And not leaving things unsaid, of course, has got me into not good places with a lot of people, but I have no regrets. It is very, very much better for your peace of mind when you don't leave things unsaid. Say it, say it out, let it be known that that is your stand on something. And the reaction of the people at whom it is directed will then give you an indication of how to place them in your life. Is this people that you want to go on dealing with in this way? Is there a different way that you can deal with them? Or is there a different stand that you can take in how they matter, in determining how much and how, in what way they matter in your life, and in what at what limit you can embrace them as an inner circle, or whether it's time to put them in another circle, or completely have them not in your life altogether. Yeah, that's this is what maturity comes with. Hard decisions, tough decisions, painful sometimes, but very necessary. I can see we have 8 minutes remaining. I I didn't get any questions, so there's nothing to answer. Thank you, whoever it is who keeps on coming back, going out. You're very welcome. I said I'm going to post this irrespective of how many people are here, and irrespective of if anybody comes, and because it's still going to stay on here after closure, then you can watch, and I can know by your comments how to go forward, how to now drive this again the next time that I go online. But I'm intending very much to go online like twice a week. And I don't think, okay, I know initially I was saying that I'm going to make it evening time, but I don't think it's necessary that it has to be evening time all the time. I really don't like this sitting in one place. Of course, now it's evening, and I've got so much going on around my living room, and my house is not so big. But going forward, I think some of the lives, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do live streaming while I'm busy doing other stuff. Of course, not when I'm very far from the house because of Wi-Fi. I don't think I'm going to get Wi-Fi when I'm very far out of the house. And sometimes live streaming takes so much data that unless it's a very special case, it will be very difficult to live stream when I'm away from a Wi-Fi connectivity. But I will do it where I will go live when I'm doing other stuff around the compound and around the house. It will be more interesting for you. It will show you much more interaction with my life on a first-hand basis, as is in real time. So this evening, one, I might desist from doing it so often. But again, I'll see whether I can do one evening weekly and then one during the day weekly, because there's so much I'm doing during the day and I can't film all the hours. But now I think I can walk around and then film while I'm doing stuff. Instead of shooting a video, then I can do a regular video, then I can do a live stream of 1 hour, because there's so much that happens. And I'll be so happy to see interactions from you, to hear your views about this, to have you see me in real time doing something. And when you're live streaming, you don't have those oops moments. They come and go, and later on is when it catches you like, oh gosh, I showed that. Yeah, but since we are creating families here, our subscribers, our viewers, our followers, you really become family, because I'm telling you everything that I'd be telling my family. If anything, some of you are more privy to what's happening in my family, in my life, than some of the family members, because you're on point, you're watching every one of my videos. And some of my family members may not be, or friends. And then when they meet, they're like, oh, how have you been doing, and this and this. And they're like, oh, what? That happened in your life? And the subscriber somewhere is busy narrating to his family. Oh, last week, do you know what she did? And the other day, and no, now we are waiting for this to happen. That's how engrossed I also become in the lives of people that I watch. You have detailed information about what's happening in their life, more than people who are around them. But I love that. I love that because I think about it in a broader aspect, in that sometimes you have people praying for you because they've heard of your intentions, they've heard of your pleas, they've heard of your wishes, they've heard of your hopes, your prayers for some certain things to go through, and they are in sync with what your emotions are at every moment. And that helps. In the same way, with my viewers, I mean, I'm always praying for goodness for you and wishing for goodness for you. And you don't have to be a subscriber, but if somebody is watching my channel, I don't know what is driving them to do it. And so every time you're in my prayer, that God may uplift you, that God may uphold you, may guide you, may protect you, and not just you, but you and your families. And so when we think of it that way, and sometimes also in our videos, we're going to highlight about very ordinary stuff that is going on in our lives. We are facing loss, we are facing new births, we are facing challenges, we have uphill tasks that are defeating us. Yes, it's good to know that there's somebody somewhere who cares, and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for them. This is happening. I wish something goes through, they go through. So, in that vein, I'm asking for you to pray for me that my channel may develop, may grow, that I may get followers, that I may get subscribers, that the viewership may never go lower. When it was going low, I got so worried. That was a few months ago. And I know it might have been just YouTube Studio, the algorithm, whatever the case it was. I was so worried that the viewership has gone from 5 to 7,000 down to 3,000, 2,000 sometimes per, per given month. You see, it is every 28 days. So it might be 28 days of up to 30th, 28 days up to 31st. So that change. And looking back in retrospect, I think it's also sometimes when different factors are affecting different people around the world where they might be watching your channel. And so that's why I pray for your nations also, that they may be at peace. And even when there's so much going on with your nations, I pray that for you as individuals, you may be at peace. And so wherever you're watching from, when you'll watch this, even if you'll watch it later, I pray that God may guide you. I pray for blessings upon you. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, to like, to share, to press the bell for notifications so that when a new video is out, you may be alerted. Remember that your comments are welcome. Your comments are very, very welcome. Ask whatever it is, but just keep within the limits of decency. Be polite, be caring, show some empathy. We are not always right. We are not always perfect. So just appreciate that I'm imperfect, but giving myself with all my imperfectness, that we may be friends, that we may become family. I thank you very much for allowing me to do this, and I look forward to doing this again. And I welcome you again to come and view my live, or even if you view it later, to leave a comment, to keep on watching my videos, watch my playlists. My playlists have a lot of what I've been doing over the years since the channel started. where I've been working since the channel started, where I have traveled since the channel started. And I think soon I'm going to bring you stuff, though most of it is in photography, of things that I did up to maybe 10 years ago. I'll just create storylines with the photographs and some of the videos that I have. And so at this point, I'm going to say goodbye. Ciao.